Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.
Perfect. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Nirmal Bangam. You know, the idea we have with us Vinkesh Kalati, Vice President at FADA, joining us. Welcome to the show, Vinkesh, and it's a pleasure to have you. Uh, Vinkesh, my first question coming to you is initially, we did have a lot of jitters with regards to what will happen in terms of sales. And it's not only for the auto sector, across sectors, that was the concern when the lockdown had started. Now, since we are in unlocking phase, we are seeing some bouts and green shoots of recovery in terms of where demand is concerned on the sales front as well. How has the transition been according to you in terms of the sales trend?
So, hi Hiral, thanks for having me. Before starting this, giving this answer, I'll just want to set the context
Mm,
because the auto industry has been a different ballgame. Uh, we have been going through around a 15 months degrowth before the COVID, and we have seen some 18% degrowth.
mm,
And so we were thinking of that by the Navratri, which was March or April, we'll be seeing an growth recovery happening. But we were hit by the pandemic, and whatever the sense of revival the auto retail was expecting,
mm,
it didn't happen that way. And as of today, whatever the like, I just heard Sam has given a figure of that they are expecting that there'll be a huge drop of 35% depending on category to category this year. So for us, for the past 2 years, we have been already grappling with the issues. But even with all this, we are a very resilient industry, and vehicles are always an aspiration purchase for Indian customers. They always look up to, that's their image building process. So I'm sure we'll be back on track. I don't know when, but as early as possible. So this is the basic of what auto industry is. And yes, now coming to your question. So yes, obviously April was a nil for us. So the full lockdown. May saw some places opening, not 100%. Those was what, around 25-30% dealerships opening. And luckily, those were majorly rural dealerships where the lockdown didn't affect a lot because farmer community was on the job across all the days. So May wasn't that good because of opening for just 10-15 days of some of the dealerships. So we saw some 88 or 89% degrowth as compared to May to May.
mm,
But then unlock came in June. Leave apart the major areas like Bombay, Pune, some part of Delhi, or wherever the pandemic has hit most. Rest all the places were open. And as I told before, the rural was going well, and we saw good sales happening in June with relation to two-wheeler industries and the entry car segment. So from the 89% degrowth, we in June we just shot up to 42% degrowth. That was a great relief for us because it gave a clear indication that the market is there. The customer is a bit in a fear psychosis, and as the things improve, we'll see the our days back again. And similar, now the trend has gone up. July is now what, 36% down. So we are expecting August not to be that great, but we'll be seeing some improvement as compared to before. So slowly and steadily, we are coming back on track. And yes, it has been a very tough time of March closing because that was the time when Navratra came in. The 25th March was Navratri. And normally, due to the depreciation scheme what government has launched last year, we were expecting huge sales to happen at the March end.
Mm.
Both were the biggest trigger of our industry coming back and having some growth, which we lost because of the lockdown. But we are hoping slowly and steadily we'll see some growth and coming back on a track as early as possible.
Right. So, we're talking about the festivals as well right now. This month we have Ganesh Chaturthi as well. Now, do you think this is actually rekindling hopes of a recovery? And if we see this recovery right now, are you of the opinion that it is going to be sustainable?
Uh, Obviously, yes, Cyril. Normally, we have good sales during the festive season.
Hmm.
And for us, Indian people, religious or auspicious dates are very, very important. You go from north to south or any place, some dates become very important. And whenever we do some good thing at home, a
Hmm.
marriage or buying a house or buying a car, the first call goes to the elders of the house or the religious saints of the community to find out what are the good times. So obviously, these festivities create an area where we see the pre-postponement and postponement of sales and club together at a place where we see, and these type give us a hope that whatever pandemic has been, we'll be bouncing back fast. So like you said, Onam has already
Right.
started showing in south. 22nd is Ganesh Chaturthi also.
Hmm.
So I am expecting, like, Gujarat has seen through the Janmashtami. So Janmashtami is huge in Gujarat. Ganesh Chaturthi is used in Maharashtra. So we have been through, and Rakhi also has some of the effect on the sales. So we have seen two things, two important dates already crossed by, and two Onam and Ganesh Chaturthi around the corner. So we expect that this all will increase the positivity or the hint of the customer coming back to the showroom, and whatever he has thought of which was delayed or postponed because of the pandemic, coming back to showing interest in the car or in the bike, whatever he's buying, and actually buying it because of the religious dates, what we are looking forward to.
Right. So right now, the entire concern was that there could be a mismatch with regards to the wholesale numbers along on the retail side. How is that spread looking like? Because again, manufacturers, OEMs have been of the opinion that we do not really want to over manufacture right now. And we're trying to understand how is that spread looking like between the two.
See, obviously, supply chain is in a issue today for most of the manufacturers.
Mm.
Leave apart one or two big ones. So Maruti, which normally does a lakh 20 every month, is now doing 90. So that is also a good number, seeing the pandemic, which lockdown of April, full, and May, and considering that Gurgaon, which is Maruti is based at, it is the major hub of the COVID spikes which we have seen in May and June also. Similar, if you see on the area of Maharashtra, the Chakin area or the Pune area, where all the ancillaries are and the manufacturers are there, have seen these spikes, and they are still not in a very reducing or a very, very good state. So the supply chain is already disrupted, and it is affecting the final product being moved out to the dealers.
Mm.
But along with this, there are some manufacturers who have managed things well. So if you want to name some few, like Maruti has come up with, like I told you last month, they've done around 90,000 plus. Hero has done a good number. Bajaj also has done some in two-wheelers, some respectable numbers. So, but on the other hand, if you see, this is the time, if you leave apart August with the festivities, we see September and a bit of October not very good time. So slowly and steadily, we'll be starting building up our stocks for the festive season to come, which is the Navratra of October end. and this time Diwali and
Bali.
Dhanteras is in November. So we'll get a 1.5 months gap to build the stock in the system. And even today, you are not sure of how the pandemic is affecting. So the lockdowns, not as statewide or citywide, but it's still happening in containment zone. So I just heard one of the major ancillary, which supplies to most of the OEMs, got 70 COVID patients, COVID positives in a day. So they had to close for another 10, 15 days as a cycle to cleanse everything. And they went to the full disinfection things and all. So obviously, whosoever takes that part as a input to the vehicle, their line will also be disturbed. And as you know, any vehicle which is manufactured, they need what 8 to 10,000 line items to get one final product. And even one line item is disturbed, so your production is disturbed. So obviously, it's a very, very dynamic situation. Changes every day. Talking to one of the manufacturers, they were saying that in the morning they don't know that if the first shift is going on fine and they get some 100 vehicles, will the second shift will be able to give that product or not. So current situation is like this, and everybody is coping up, and hopefully things will be fine as early as possible.
Absolutely. I think every plan is playing by the tea because you're not really able to plan as to what the future is going to look like. So you have to take it, day by day. And with this, what's the kind of ideal inventory you think retailers should be maintaining, taking into consideration COVID?
Hiral, basically, from our association front, FADA had requested the manufacturers and tried to make the point that the inventory, a good inventory where a dealership will be viable and even still not lose sales, was what we have suggested. So 15 days of physical inventory and around 7 days of transit. So all put together, 21 days. But that was what we had requested last year. This year we have again written to the SIAM, the body which the Association of Manufacturers, that seeing the current COVID situation, even a dealer won't be viable with 21 days inventory. And we had suggested that there are a lot of process, like just in time is one and just in case is another. So like just in time is obviously when we need the vehicle for the customer books in it, gets it. But seeing the current scenario, this is very there is a very thin line of customer waiting for the vehicle which is in transit. So we had suggested that why not have runner models in just in time, that we keep stocks of whatever is moving fast, and whatever is moving slow, the manufacturer should have their regional stock outlets where the transit time is maximum a day or two, which can easily be requested for the customers to wait and look further. So combining both the thing, we had requested that they should reduce for our stock keeping to 11 days and 7 days or 5 days of transit time of theirs, where they support with the just in case strategy and their rural stock outlet. And additional to this, the GST has helped us a lot. With the GST now, there is no issue where the stock is kept or where the dealer is. The GST input is so seamless that that can be easily possible. So if a manufacturer has maybe 2 or 3 outlets stocks in North India, full North India can be covered in a day or two with the good supply chain management. So, but it will majorly improve the efficiency of inventory at the dealership. And additionally, it will reduce the cost of vehicle by at least 0.5% or 1%, because every dealer keeps a vehicle and every dealer is paying the cost of that vehicle. Whereas that could be easily divided between all the dealers and OEMs and still not lose a sale.
Right.
So we are suggesting that. Let's see how manufacturers are able to take it and react on that.
Right. So across, in terms of where the dealer community is concerned, Vinkesh, are all operational, or have we seen shutdowns on the back of the pandemic situation?
You're talking of actually dealerships closing down the shops.
Yes.
So So Hiral, there are some, but different issues of different dealerships. You
Hmm.
cannot, as of now, pinpoint pandemic because we've just been open, not for all, but maybe a month or 2 months or
Hmm.
1.5 months, and everybody is grappling with the situation to efficiently run a viable dealership. And it's too short a time to decide closing a shop where you have been for at least 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or for many it is 20 or 50 years coming from forefathers. So there had been some, but those were already on the verge of closure even before pandemic. They were thinking of that these are not viable proposition, why not close
Hmm.
down? So they were all waiting for the festive season or the March sale to happen.
Right.
But once the pandemic came, so they had to decide a bit faster and take the decision uh, during this period. So
Hmm.
maybe not the right time to discuss on closures as of now, but
Right.
we'll
Right.
have to see how the festive season goes till November.
Hmm.
And maybe in January onwards, if still the market doesn't come back, which I doubt, the market will at least
Hmm.
come to 80-90% of the sale of last year by January. That is what we are thinking of. Things would be good then. But there are always you can say the bench sitters which are waiting for things to go up or not. So obviously, if they have any option of diversifying in another business and those businesses are more viable or they have that positive option, they are doing it. But those are not huge as of now.
Right. So, what is the kind of trend are we witnessing with regards to where dealership funding as well as vehicle funding goes? Uh, are you seeing financing which is back to normal levels, or do you think that's still muted right now?
That's a very difficult question to answer in one line, Hiral. So, practically, it's location to location, dealer to
Okay.
dealer, and even bank to bank.
Hmm.
So, you can say like dealerships all work on CC limits or channel
Correct.
funding. So, pre-COVID, obviously, it was very easy. The things went tight for the past 2 years, but still was very easy. A good dealer who was maintaining good retail numbers and a good balance sheet was easily able to get any funding he wanted.
Hmm.
And similar case was there with the customers also. So there were a lot of financiers, NBFCs were aggressive. Uh, we had seen some issues for the past 10 years or so, but still we were able to manage that whosoever customer was interested, we were able to get the vehicle finance for them. But post-pandemic, obviously, we had seen issue of BS4, BS6 hitting us with the pandemic. So obviously, there were a lot of BS4 stocks which dealers couldn't liquidate in this lockdown period. FADA had gone to Supreme Court and got a positive order also on this, that whatever vehicles are sold and is in Vahan can be registered now. But still, due to lockdown, there are many dealers who are stuck with BS4 stocks.
Hmm.
All of this had created you can say, a point where bankers started restricting giving funding to the dealers.
Hmm.
But slowly and steadily, it is improving. Things have so liquidity is not an issue. All the banks, all the NBFCs are have lots of fund,
Hmm.
but yes, they are a bit risk averse. So they, if before they were seeing two papers before giving a customer loan or five papers for giving a dealer the required fund,
Hmm.
now those have increased
Correct.
to at least double. And obviously, the time taking for any reimbursement or any approval of limit and all, that has also increased. And obviously, yes, that should have been, because at this time everybody has to be very cautious seeing the funds and all. And like a lot of webinars and a lot of senior people and industry leaders are talking of reserve preserving your cash and
Hmm.
managing your funds well, keeping your debt side as low as possible. So obviously, all things have involved, and the dealership are now trying to work even efficiently with money
Correct.
and working on low inventory. So not a big issue if I talk about dealer funding, except
Right.
for some 10-15% dealerships where they are highly leveraged. On the customer front, yes, that's an issue if a customer has taken a moratorium in maybe a home loan or even his old vehicle or even a personal loan.
Mm.
Uh, Getting a vehicle financed there is becoming a bit tough.
Mm.
But yes, we are trying whatever best we can do from the dealer side, pushing one financer if they are not agreeing, the other financer. Seeing the customer's interest, we are trying to close that deal.
So, Venkesh, overall, the entire crux of this was with regards to dealer financing that we've already seen. We've spoken about vehicle financing in terms of where individual purchases go. How is the demand trend looking like? Because the anticipation which I personally had was that once things start to improve, at least on the back of, say, personal mobility due to lack of public transport or even to follow social distancing norms, you will see a spurt that will come in terms of where demand is concerned. Yes, it could be in the entry level segment, maybe not in luxury. Is that the trend that we have been witnessing right now as well, where the demand is coming from entry level and not from the luxury side?
So I agree. Even in pandemic, this is a glimmer of hope. The social distancing and much needed propulsion that the personal mobility has not. People are not avoiding public transport. So that has become a good thing for the auto industry, obviously. So there is a renewed interest from the customers on personal mobility. And additional to that, the strong bounce back by rural demand in June and July, what we have seen, that has also supported. So yes, because of all the social distancing and the fear of traveling in metros or buses, we are seeing a lot of interest in the entry segment two-wheelers and entry segment cars. Obviously, there are customers who are going in for higher end also,
Hmm.
but the major inquiries or major conversion what we are seeing or what we are able to witness and where the retails are happening easily is in the entry segment.
Right.
And that is where I feel even in coming times, till we see any vaccine or any cure coming of this COVID, this will continue for till that time at least. And maybe later we see then people coming up or upgrading their to the higher model of vehicles. But till then, I am expecting this to grow bigger.
Right. And overall, tractor sales have been fantastic, even in the lockdown as well. And that was mainly on the back of the agri demand that we saw. Now, with that, the concern was with regards to where CV goes because CV has been facing some bit of struggle. What's this retail trend that you're picking up on the CV side right now? If you have to compare April, May, June, July, and August, we're already in the mid of August, especially if you have to talk about MHCVs, because there is some bit of bullish commentary coming in from OEMs if you have to talk about the CV segment. However, the Vahan data is not suggesting that, same.
See, practically, the OEM's message is a bit different, and
Hmm.
when as FADA we talk about the ground realities.
Correct.
So if you talk of the commercial vehicle, we have seen 97% degrowth in May of commercial vehicle and some 83% in June and some 72% in July. So not the same way of growth what we have seen in other categories.
Hmm. Hmm.
And even before commenting on this, you should understand that the commercial vehicle is not a personal buy. It's not a vehicle which is being used for any other else than earning. So
Correct.
it's majorly to do with economy.
Hmm.
So if the current need of freight or if the current need of, if you take for hub and spoke model, if the bigger vehicles are needed for longer distance, the smaller vehicles for the city to the outside. So somewhere the movement of the freight or the products has to be there. So
Hmm.
when we are seeing the production overall the manufacturing, not even the the vehicles, but even talking the all in manufacturing is not on back on track. Along with that, you must have seen a lot of transport association coming up that 60% vehicles are lying vacant.
Correct.
Bigger fleet owners have come up saying that they are liquidating their fleet and
Correct.
following their manpower because they are not able to manage the business. So obviously, unless and until we see the full business, full economy seeing backtrack, the current requirement of whatever the vehicles are in market being fully utilized, we will not be able to see a good return of normalcy in the commercial vehicle segment. And as you know, even today, normal human, Indian human still wants to be at home. And
Right.
there are a lot of things which is forcing him also, because still many companies are still wanting their workforce to work from home.
Right.
So obviously their regular travel is restricted. So automatically with that thinking that you have to work from home, his interest of moving out or his fear of moving out both works toward his other purchases also going down. So
Correct.
overall the demand or the purchasing power is less. So unless and until everything goes back to track, I doubt the commercial vehicle will see a good comeback as early as maybe this financial year. I am expecting next financial year to be seen as some green shoot for commercial vehicle, not before that. Or the government comes up with some big infrastructure expending, maybe like they were doing on the roads or whatever they have to do, and we see the current fleet being utilized there, then obviously we'll see new vehicles being bought. So
Right.
whosoever is buying the current new vehicle, they already have a tender or already have a business to support, and that is very less as of now.
Right. So are you seeing a change in terms of as CV orders are concerned from the fleet owners? Or is it, if you talk about the production numbers from OEM, that's entirely kind of channel filling?
You see, on the production, the numbers what we are seeing in the commercial vehicle from the companies also, that's also not huge.
Correct.
So, frankly speaking, I know about Tata dealers. They don't have any stocks as of now because they didn't get the vehicles till as late as I feel July mid. Even the lockdown was open May and June, but they didn't have those MNHCV vehicles. Whosoever got were very low numbers. In this segment, only Eicher was able to get their production in place, as they were the one of the first to come back to the track. And even if you talk of Ashok Leyland or like Mahindra, the production issues of commercial vehicle is big. And additional to that, the major point is the BS4, BS6 price revision for the MNHCV had been huge. So like uh, starting from what 10 to 12 lakhs to 15 to 18 lakhs. So obviously that's a big price increase for a customer to adapt, and any price increase takes time. With such economy situation, it is making more time. So as of now, I feel the production is not as normal. So there wouldn't be any issue of inventory going up. So demand and supplies, obviously demand is also not great, and the supply is also not as required as per their capacity. So still both the places, the issues are there.
Right. And overall, with this trend, where are you seeing sales increasing faster? Is it the urban side or is it rural India where the trend is, increasing and it's a good uptick?
See, obviously, India is a major rural market, and as whatever you have seen till date, the for the past 4 or 5 years, we are seeing that rural has been the trigger of growth always.
Right.
Urban market, most of the metros have already they have stabilized. There is no growth or degrowth happening. The differences between whatever whosoever a new company is launched, a new product is launched, they see a growth, and the others see a degrowth. So it's basically a new product which increases a market share of one manufacturer, but overall the market is stable.
Hmm.
So obviously, and even in May, June, we have seen that rural had been the biggest uptick for the growth happening.
Hmm.
That is the thing what we are looking out. But yes, currently what has happened that tier one, tier two towns have seen the intermittent lockdown. So all the metros now are open, or they're more or less open, but you will find places like tier two, tier three towns where the lockdowns, if even if it is not a full lockdown, they have a lot of places which are in containment zone. So like a city is open, but they have 113 containment zone. So practically 60% is lockdown, but they haven't announced yet.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
because of the COVID numbers increasing in tier two, tier three town, the uh, rural or a semi-urban demand is a bit hit as of today. But
Hmm.
I am expecting, obviously, this is a curve where we have seen in metros also COVID growing, taking a peak and then going down. And I'm not the right person to say, but it takes what around 2-3 months for this cycle to happen. So maybe in another month or so, even tier two, tier three towns will be back. And again, the rural will be the major force to see the growth happening and helping this industry to come back to near normal.
Right. And regionally, any data that we have which says as to which states are showing strong recovery and which states are lagging behind?
Viral, frankly, what I don't know about the old, but July, what we released, we had seen that Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh had been one of the two states which had seen minimal degrowth.
Mm.
There were some green shoots in passenger vehicle, like Himachal Pradesh had seen a growth. No doubt it's a small figure of 5,000 vehicle, but they still have seen. Haryana was low at degrowth. Jharkhand has seen less degrowth as all India figures. So there have been some places, some states who have shown better, you can say, adaptation with COVID. Like Punjab has also grown by 2.8% with Rajasthan
Mm.
for July numbers. So obviously there are some 5-6 states, and those are big states which have shown a better situation. So the
Mm.
one, maybe the degrowth is less, or they have even shown the growth. But obviously those are in some category, not as a full state. So,
Right.
but those are indication that things will be coming faster in those states better. So
Right.
hoping for them other states to join in that bandwagon.
Right. And very lastly, Vinkesh, anything that you've been hearing on the scrappage policy? Because again, if that comes out, probably that could be one of the triggers which could again create demand as well. Anything on that front where, because last one I heard was that the government is taking commitments from OEMs as well with regards to the kind of incentives that they would be ready to provide as well on the back of scrapping old vehicles. But do you think that could be one of the trigger where the government really needs to work on, and anytime soon we can expect that?
Hiral, sorry to say that, but this has become a Birbal ki khichdi.
Mhm. I
And
know.
last what I feel, what 5 years back we started hearing about that, and
Correct.
some black and white paper came in, and our minister has been saying about this for the past what six
Hmm.
months or sorry, Auto Summit FADA. He openly said that in a month or so it will come. Obviously, discussions are in the you can say in the final stages,
Hmm.
and even we had a discussion with some of the senior members of MORTH a day or two before on this, and as per them, maybe maximum a month to 6 months that will be finalized, because now the policy is at the finalization at the highest
Mhm.
level. So, but seeing the current situation, see, the scrappage policy will only work if the all the stakeholders put in some money.
Absolutely.
So obviously, the OEM is one part, like you already suggested, but the bigger part is the government.
Hmm.
They come down on the road tax or on the GST. They are working on that. So obviously, current times, I feel government must be not very forefront coming on giving some relaxation like this. But
Mhm.
the policy, whatever information we have, is on the final stage. And if given the importance by the MORTA today and their focus, maybe within 6 months we'll get that. And obviously, yes, that will be a big booster to demand.
Hmm.
The PDA had been writing to the Prime Minister, the Ministry of Road Transport,
Hmm.
on demand restoration by some of one of the biggest point was this, along with some GST cut and that depreciation for individual, which we have requested for demand boosting things from the Prime Minister. And uh, let's hope for the best. And if it comes as early as possible, it will help us revive a more faster, in a more faster way.
Right. And very lastly, when we've been talking of the scrappage policy as well, we've been talking of demand revival. Do you think this could be the best time for the government to really fasten their belts on the scrappage policy, or do you think they should still wait it out?
Easy. Hiral, this is a very difficult way to answer this, because
Mm.
if you see on the one side, if you talk of the auto industry, we want the supports, because
Right.
when practically, if you talk, we have seen 18% degrowth for the past 15, 18 months, and we are expecting 35% degrowth in the coming month. So you're talking of basically just half of the industry, and you talk of 50% degrowth. Think of the dealerships, 25,000 outlets. Think of the manpower we employed, direct around 25 lakhs, and some all put together some 40 lakh employees which we have. If we half it, what the effect will have in the uh, general economy and the employment in the market. So obviously, it has to be a balancing act by the government, and there are a lot of discussions going on, and we are hopeful that something or the other will come. Obviously, for the past 3 months, they had been grappling with the COVID situation. Their first priority was only health and this pandemic.
Mm.
Now, like, things are normally opening up, and I'm thankful to the government that they are not thinking of putting in more lockdowns, even if the cases are spiking, because
Correct.
the economy has to be there. You cannot lock down, and there has to be some support for a normal Aam Aadmi and all
Absolutely.
those. So
Absolutely.
we are expecting something to happen, but not very positive. But let's wait, and let's wait for some natural demand boosters to come in, like festive season, rural uptick happening, and maybe we, as an industry, as I told you before, we are resilient enough. Let's maybe we can stand on our own without any support, and show the Indian or the economy that we can do it.
Absolutely. And very lastly, Venkesh, uh, are we seeing higher discounting trends by OEMs right now to create demand? Is that something which we are seeing versus the kind of discounts we would see earlier during the festive season?
Not so much, but yes, obviously in some products. But like you, every festive season, the discounts are increased,
Correct.
the schemes are increased, and obviously the dealer also wants to sell as high number as he can. So,
Correct.
but a dampener here is also the supply chain. So if
Mm.
we are able to revive the supply chain back to the pre-COVID levels, So the discounts or the schemes will be restrictive. But even as of today, the schemes and discounts are good if customer wants to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Starting from some as low as 5,000 to I've seen some product having 50,000 also.
Right.
So the schemes and discounts are there. Maybe the mismatch is there, like maybe you're wanting one model, one variant, and one color. That couldn't be there, but obviously in that same model you can get discount or a scheme on a other variant or a
Correct. Correct.
because the supply chain is still an issue. And leave apart the new products which have been launched, and they are seeing some customers waiting to buy that there are no schemes. But all the products which have been already launched in COVID, we are finding good schemes and discounts happening, and I'm expecting in South or Gujarat or Maharashtra, they must have better schemes because the festivity is majorly statewide. And coming down to Diwali, Dhanteras, you see discounts or schemes more in the north side. So obviously that is a catalyst to sale, and that's an enabler which is always being planned in an annual budget for a company or a we are expecting that will happen again, and we'll see good numbers there.
Absolutely. Let's just hope that the revival happens quickly and fast for all sectors and everyone across, so we're up on our feet once again. But thank you, Vinkesh. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. It was a pleasure having you. Great insights that we've picked up. I hope you enjoyed the discussion as well. And we will see you back again. And stay safe.
Thanks, Hiral. Thanks very much.